to the seed to get our other characters, so that was good that I was able to avoid that. But yeah, I also fought Magimaster for my KT skip at Toilet Atlas spot. That was fun.
Oh, I love doing floating continent these days.
I also love doing floating content, especially with vanilla messenger box. You know you're gonna get the Gigantos.
That's true. And with these flags, with there being just more dead checks in general, just having guaranteed progression is just nice.
Yeah, so with the ice rods in the shop for cheap, I was going to originally go to Burning House before I found those, and I'm like, you know what? You could use items in Fanatic's Tower, right? So that's basically what I did. Is I went up Fanatic's Tower first to get my experience from the dragon and the boss. Took a lot longer than it probably should have, obviously, because I was on level 3 for the dragon, and the boss was Funbabo, which was a beefy, tanky boy. But, you know, given that this was a Kefka at Narcy, that probably also didn't help because, again, it wasn't a character, right? So somebody who didn't do that first could have peeked Fanatics and been like, oh yeah, not a character here, and saved like the 5 minutes.
It's actually what I did.
All that.
That is also what
I picked Fanatics. I was like, oh, I have ice rods, I can do this. And then I was like, hey, it's not a character. I'm just not even going to bother.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to watch this back because we had a few different options open to us for sure. But it was really fun to just. I did a lot of different things with my party between Strago casting magic and then going into jump fixed ice with the horn at the end. And then the offering Valiant Knife for Shadow, and Edgar was swinging big beefy sword the whole seed. So it was interesting to try a lot of different things. And knowing that the monster in the boxes were vanilla, and we had Edgar with Sketch, that was an easy free offering that I turned out not to need because the next dragon fight was an offering too. So it's just one of those where it happens that way sometimes, you know.
We're joined by Fitz in the booth as well. GG, Fitz.
Hello, GG's all. That was fun.
GG's Fitz.
GG's.
I gotta be more aggressive with this flag set because the power was there. I just didn't slam the gas. And I went to Burning House, and that was dead. And I was like, well,
did you start
there
Burning
goes
House?
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to starting Burning House. I saw my characters and I was like, boom, Burning House.
Yeah,
I might have been
I
Evans
almost did
first.
the same thing until we found the half off ice rods too. But yeah, the thing with these flags, right, is you start with 3 characters and 2 espers, so automatically your enemies are level 12 and a half. So it's a bit daunting to get any free progression, right? So Burning House first or play with a lot of forced encounters first is probably a good idea with these particular flags, right?
Exactly. That's my line of thinking too. The only other alternative I can think is you go into castle first, but you also have to take off your Moogle charm. You have to grind the cave before. It's a little bit weird, but it would work.
Interesting.
Especially since you know that you have VK. So you were just like, oh, I'm going to go here anyways. You might as well just like do it with a little bit of tempo.
Yeah, I find that with rods, I'm a lot less scared of those fixed encounter starts. Just because, like, they do so much AoE damage. So as long as you get the first turn and, like, win one battle, usually you can just potion up after that and then win the rest really easily. So I was like, well, if I wipe a Burning House, it'll probably be early, so oh well. If that happens, I'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, how come those guards give so much experience? I didn't expect them to give like 5,000 experience.
Yeah, I think the reason they give so much is because they're level like 1 in the normal game or something really low, but they give like 300 or 400 XP or something, like really good early XP. Like if you watch the speed run, they actually farm there a little bit. It's so good. With like the MTech Walker. But whenever they're higher levels, like that just multiplies that XP. So like they just have a high ratio pretty much.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. It made my early game really good. I'm just glad that I was not a multiple of 5. That's about it. Otherwise, I would be like minus 6 minutes.
I'm always like these days, like making sure my level isn't divisible by 5 like takes up 80% of my mental stack when I play this randomizer now. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I think my favorite was my Kefka at Narsh, which was required. It went real south on me. I wiped a goddess due to a blowfish, which no one had the HP to tank at that point.
Oof.
I even had Strago with I was like, I got some ice rods. Strago's got a thunder shield. This should be fine. Blowfish. Oh no. And then it's because it's Kefka and Narsh. If you wipe to the boss, then I'm back at the save point, and I was like, all right, let's do this again. And I ran into one of the guards, and they were outside or mad, and they wiped me before I could get away. I was like,
that's
cool,
what
cool.
happened to me too. I missed Soldier Skip. I missed Soldier Skip the first time, and that's exactly what happened.
I'm glad I didn't miss Soldier Skip.
Madam Outsider, and then boom, Ashura, boom, you're dead. And I'm like, great, that's fun. I had both my characters queue up, the warp, either the warp stone or the warp spell, but it didn't matter because the enemies were just like, sit down, please.
But
Awful.
the second goddess fight, I got through. I was like, yeah, I'm proud for sticking this out, because I was kind of like, do I need to re-equip some stuff? Nah, I could do it. And then there was a Gigantos, was the first fight in the Imperial camp, which is where I got my last character. And I got the most experience I've ever seen playing this rando. It was like 70,000. And Strago was dead. He was like 5 levels lower than the other characters that were alive just from being down in that fight. I was like, ooh. I even cast Fenrir because I was like, these are going to hit like a truck. I need to be safe and try to take them down. And it didn't quite work, but I was just like, man, that's the most experience I've ever seen. That's incredible.
So this came up during my run. So I thought about this and I was like, I don't really know. But I had it where I got Sabin really late and I was like, I just needed to find the last character. And I was like, well, do I peak Imperial Camp or do I peak Phantom Train? And I'm like, well, if the character is at Phantom Train, it's going to be a longer check than Imperial Camp. But the peak itself's a lot quicker. So I wasn't sure which one's actually better.
I think in retrospect, Imperial Camp is better. I did Phantom Train personally because I wanted the faster peak. Or it was the first one along the way, so I was like, oh, it's a character, I'm just going to take it. But I think in retrospect, our Imperial Camp is better. Because it's one battle, right?
Yeah,
and then you get
it's a minor cutscene, but yeah, it's about the same time as it takes you to walk through the forest too, right?
Yeah. The one battle is you can run away from it too, so it's like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. So
the forest is like just 30 seconds as well. Yeah.
So I know, Edgeworth and Yogi, you guys read out the real times, but the real question is who actually won the race by suplexing the train? I did not have my Blitz user on that path, right. And I was so mad about it.
Hear me out. As soon as I queued the Phoenix down up, I was like, wait a minute, Shadow actually had Blitz this seed. And I just completely forgot that was his command because I'd been so used to just using V-Knife on him. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to get roasted now.
Yes. Am I the only one? Bum Rush?
The only one with a valid run, yes.
Yes, let's go. I got roasted the last time, and then I saw it, and I was like, oh, I gotta do it.
Yep. It was a good fight because I found out that multi-summon was on, because I was like, oh, I could try this Odin again, which I don't know how in Esper summon instant death misses, but sure, let's do that.
Can we talk about those KT bosses? All three.
Ultros
and Ultros.
Ultros for days.
Well, did anybody else do Toilet Atma for their skip and fight Magimaster?
Heck no. I would do it if Phantom Train wasn't a character, and then I had to do Imperial Camp, and it was an Esper, because I was on 13 or something. Okay. So 5 away is a little bit questionable.
Yeah, it's not worth it to make up the time. For me, it was I do the Opera House Dragon and Toilet Atma, and I get to skip, which is basically not that much time to invest to do the last 2 checks for skip. That's always the the weighing of the options is this gonna are these two extra checks gonna take 5 minutes? No, then do it for the skip.
Yeah, 5 minutes seems to be the cutoff.
All right.
Even though
Well,
I think
go
just
ahead.
like walking through KT, like disregarding the boss battles, takes like 3 minutes. It's like not as long as you'd think. So
Yeah,
like if you have
it's-
really fast bosses,
It's like exactly 3 minutes. I timed this before.
So was it Ultros Ford Inferno? Because that would have been hilarious.
I
'Cause
fought Ultras
I
for
obviously
somewhere,
didn't see it.
right? I think I did. Maybe I'm
Well,
thinking of another scene.
I'll certainly have to catch it back on the race. But thank you, Edge and Yogi, for doing comms and tracking and for putting on the show.
6:30. Heck, maybe I should have just went into KT. I don't know. 6:30 seems like a while. Definitely had the offense to go fast in KT. Yeah, maybe that was a misplay, and I just had time made up other places.
It also depends on your party comp too. Like
Yeah.
I knew that I could take on before I knew that Master is an Atma, I was like, well, I could take anything on. I have Grand Train, I have Valiant Knife, I have Fixed Ice, I've got all the stuff I need. One for each party, and just go.
I solo pathed Gogo because he was just a god this scene. He had full lures, he had full blitz, he had dragon dice. Like, how do you compete? How do you compete?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go-Go was pretty good. I used Bid Guard just because I wanted to. I think that entire animation just wasted time, though. But it was cool.
Yeah, that's all that matters is not going fast. Is it cool or not? So, but yeah, again, Edge and Yogi, thanks for doing comms and tracking. Appreciate you putting on the show. So, thanks for that.
All right. I think that that's going to take us out on that note then. Thanks for joining us for the restream, y'all, and have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
GG's.
Thanks.
Had fun. Later.
Bye-bye.
Right, and thanks to Yogi for being my co-com and helping me out with the tracking here quite a bit. So appreciate it.
Yep, GG's to everybody. Next race on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so if you're interested in joining this tournament, still plenty of time. Check out that race on Tuesday. Clear your calendar. It's a good time. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good rest of your day.